Right. Just before Alex comes on, I just wanted to say one more thing, which was Edenbase and Transformbase was actually co-founded by Daniel, myself, and Ariane. Where's Ariane Alicani? Where are you, Ariane? Wave your hand. Where? Can't see. Where's there? There. Stand up, please, Ariane. Where are you? Oh, he's there. Is he getting mic'd up? That's a feeble excuse. No, that's great. But there was another person who helped us. There he is. Wave, Ariane. That's the other part. There was another person that helped us to establish the business, which is Gökçe Gize, or Gigi. Both businesses, both Edenbase and Transformbase. Now, she's gone on to launch her own business, Beyond 42, and which, by the way, if you have a team looking to develop, absolutely, she's the best person. She's helped us to be the better team by helping us to putting us in the best shape to be able to achieve the things that we want. So I couldn't let this go without, because everything that you see, it's got her fingerprints all over it. So I just wanted to acknowledge Gigi as well. And she's traveling, so unfortunately she can't be with us, but a very important part of it. Now, the first set of presentations, as we said, are to provoke the thinking. The first one is, of course, where is the money going? That's quite an important one for investors like ourselves. One of the biggest investors in technology and innovation globally is JP Morgan, fabulous partner of ours. And Alex McCracken, who's the Managing Director of Innovation Banking, is going to give us information that you normally only see if you're like a billion-dollar client of theirs, this kind of. So this is very cool for us to be able to get this information. He is a star in his own right. He has supported the tech ecosystem for well over 20 years himself. Little known fact, he inadvertently starred in a Hollywood movie. Maybe we'll ask him about that, why. But he really does drink the tech Kool-Aid. In his spare time, he makes music videos using AI. So here to rock us through the trends in tech, please welcome Alex McCracken to the stage.
Thanks, Eric. It's hard to live up to his hype. But talking of hype, who actually thinks AI is overhyped right now? Raise your hand if you think it's overhyped. Only a handful. Okay. I'm going to try and show you a few slides here that actually prove that we think it's not overhyped. We're just at the start. And also allude to some of the areas we're seeing real adoption. Apologies for my voice. I had COVID 2 weeks ago. I'm not infectious anymore, but it's affecting my voice. So, venture capital. We are back to pre-COVID hype levels. We're back to the normal of 2020, before the venture capital cycle got into overheating mode. We're now seeing over $20 billion a quarter invested in tech by venture capital and growth equity in Europe. That is about half the level of the US. So we've caught up to the US. Previously, a few years ago, we were about 25%. We're now half the level. And at the early stage, Series A, where Edenbase typically invest, we're seeing actually valuations and check sizes even above the 2021 peaks. So it's really strong in the early stage in deep tech investing. However, the growth rounds are down significantly. That's where a lot of the overheating happened. Companies at Series C+, that third round of funding, or fledgling revenues, were getting ridiculous sized rounds in 2021, 22, far too high a valuation. That's where we've seen a softening of the market. But the early stage, still resilient. Round sizes, 10 to 50 million are good, 1 to 10 million are good. And rounds greater than 400 million are happening, especially in AI. So we've got Wave, self-driving car software that can be retrofit to cars, uses imaging technology to guide the car along and learn from all other cars doing similar journeys. Raised $1 billion or £1 billion, one of the largest rounds for an AI company. We've had Arm, which IPO'd for over 54 billion market cap. and a lot of other software companies using AI now achieving good exits through M&A. Also biopharma, that creeping of AI and new imaging technologies into drug discovery is another hot sector. And actually, this has driven funds to raise even more funding. So actually, venture capital and growth funds in Europe are now reaching over 80 billion a quarter in new funds to invest, that they have to invest over 5 years. And actually, 30 of those funds, 10 of which are venture, 20 are growth, are over $1 billion just in the last 12 months. So what tech slowdown? There is a mountain of money waiting for good ideas with traction. So on to the UK specifically, and deep tech. We define deep tech as deep IP, complex algorithms, hard to understand. It's not e-commerce, it's not payments, it's not HR software, it's deep intellectual property, and this is where the money's going. Over 100 deep techs raised, 3.4 billion just in the last 18 months from 602 completely unique different investors. They could be venture funds, family offices, corporates, sovereign wealth, growth funds. This isn't angels, this is funds, 602 different funds. Only about a third of those came from the UK, those funds. 2/3 are outside the UK. So capital is flowing across borders. Anything with AI in it raised the most money, but also anything big data, clean tech, virtual reality, cybersecurity, climate tech, crypto and blockchain infrastructure. All hot areas. And there's over 20 rounds, more than 5 million. Most people say, yeah, it's easy to get your seed and your angel round, but where's the money coming from as I grow? Well, the answer is more than 20 companies a quarter are getting more than 5 mil. And these are the most active funds in the UK investing in deep tech. These just happen to be the ones north of $1 billion assets under management. The top 7, all domestic, very easy to get hold of. And these are the most active overseas investors in deep tech. So Temasek from Asia, Tiger Global from the US hedge fund, Insight now flying in, doing deals in Europe, US fund, SoftBank, very prevalent still. So there is no shortage of money. There's only a shortage of good entrepreneurs. One of the key areas we're studying, very bullish on, intelligent robots. This is Ameca. This robot shows emotion and has a ChatGPT interface, so you can converse with this robot. It can suggest things, you can talk away. And this will only improve exponentially. So your home automation goes from Alexa to an assistant. Your care in hospitals goes from people trying to lift heavy people to robots lifting people and administering drugs. So lots of opportunity, but lots of regulation needed, lots of supervision, lots of ethics also required. So this is where we're seeing, as a bank, startups rising and doing well. Firstly, and Daniel mentioned it, it's all about data and managing that data. Sure, we've got tons of unstructured data everywhere, but using AI now to make sense of that unstructured data and diving into massive reams of data and going, is this useful? If so, let's use it. Building processing of that data into your phone, your tablet, your work device, at source, instant compute. This is AI-powered operating systems. Secondly, AI agents. Yes, I suggest something through ChatGPT. What should I talk about in this talk? But what next? Who does what, where, when? And on what system? That's AI agents running off, orchestrating the workflow, all infused into different systems across any enterprise. However, if you are outsourcing your compute to Google or Amazon in their lovely cloud, they used to tell us to put it in their format, our data into their format. Otherwise, they couldn't compute it. Now we're saying, hey, you take our data in our format, please, and it's your job to standardize that format. AI can do that. And then data management. Who's got the rights to view it? Who's got the rights to alter it? Who's got the rights to execute on it? All of this management of the data before, during, and after. And this leads into security. Huge. If data is the key, everyone wants access to it, bad actors. So data security, cybersecurity is very tied in. But let's say I am permissioned to access this data and do something with it. Am I who I say I am? Because Gen AI could very easily create a fingerprint of me and try and access our systems. So identity and then authorization. Am I the right person, or should it actually be someone else in the organization? All of this is ever increasingly complex. The next thing is costs. Using Gen AI is very costly. Do you really need to? And this whole finance operations, FinOps, building in cost tracking, our banking team or others on the front line can suggest ideas all day long for using Gen AI. But are they cost effective? Are they going to deliver benefits that far exceed the cost to compute? Also, our developers and engineers run off and they love doing projects and experimenting. And some of those experiments cost thousands of dollars for just minutes of trial. So we and any enterprise just need to keep a check on this, see who's doing what. And we're seeing a lot of startups involved in FinOps and DevOps, and developer operations is making those developers who generate the code more responsible for the costs and the cost effectiveness of it. And then the last big area we're seeing startups is empowering employees. Yes, we can all do with more help to do our jobs better, but for example, a digital assistant as we walk around our multitude of business buildings, booking a desk, we just talk to it. Where do I go next for my next meeting? Just talk to it and it comes up on my phone. So that empowering employees to do their job better. Next best action, particularly in our call centers. So we have thousands of people in call centers using call prompts and bots and things like that. But what happens next? The prospect or the customer has told us their problem. So what do we do about it? The agent can listen to that and the solution can go off and say, maybe the next action is this, and then orchestrate the follow-up. Next area is skills gaps. So we are constantly training. All organizations should be constantly training and upskilling. But what's the gap in knowledge that we need to fill? Who's best placed to deliver that knowledge? Could it be generative AI? Or could it gather that knowledge from others in the organization? And so as an example, if you're using Teams and that's Microsoft, and Microsoft knows what your next meeting is and who it's with and what should be delivered, up should pop a real-time prompt for how to run that meeting, transcribe that meeting, deliver the follow-ups from that meeting, and make sure those follow-ups are done. All automated. Learning journeys. Again, career paths can be plotted. If you want to reach this level, given where the organization's goals are, and given what everyone else is doing, how do you reach that next level? And how do we deliver a training program to you specifically? And that can be done with generative AI. We've got a ton of text. make it into a video in the language that I need to hear, delivered by a video telling me at this stage, you should be doing X, and here's some resources to help. And lastly, low and no code, as Daniel said. A lot of this work has been created. There are templates out there. Other organizations have created best of breed. This is how you do X. Go find a cheap, low-cost provider who does low, no code, has a load of templates for that thing, and you will quickly advance your execution of generative AI using best of breed, things that are already out there. That's all I have to say for now, but any questions, I am available on that email. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. What's very reassuring for us is that we've made some investments in some of those spaces. Woo! So we're very optimistic about that. Much appreciated. What's helpful is to get the numbers behind the thinking.